Hello, 853 students. I'm trying for a second time to do a little review of what we saw in the last of Chapter 3, and I I am videotaping from my home, so obviously it's not the office. The thing that one of the things I talked about my hair, I just been outside trying to get some stuff put away in this wind, which was kind of amazing. Uh, I'm supposed to have a new program, and they still haven't got it working where I can actually video and put it directly into Blackboard. So I'll be using YouTube one more time, and hopefully it'll work. But I tried this before, and it didn't save or something, so I might be wasting our time. Talking a little bit about Chapter 3, I want to talk a little bit about some of the thoughts about having a business manager. And most of you agreed that a business manager should be a part of the administrative team. A few of you, I mean, you're pretty well split between whether you would rather it be an educator who has a business background or an accountant or business person. And some of you gave some excellent pros and cons to each one of those different approaches. More important to me was the concept that a business manager should be a member of the administrative team. Mine always was. And I think one of the important things to realize and understand is that the more that a business manager knows about what education is occurring or what is occurring in your building, the better off your district's going to be. And I think it's really important to have the business manager know what each of the principals' real priorities are, and that business manager can work to create funds or to funnel funds to those priority activities. And I just think it helps a lot of times just to know what the financial situation is or might be. Some of you in your answer to these questions, it was hard for me sometimes for some of you to tell whether it was your opinion or something you got from the textbook. And so what I would recommend is when you use something from the textbook, just say cite textbook or cite author. You don't have to do anything at the end of the report or anything, just so I know that thought is from the author, and then if you look at the syllabus and how I talked about grading for this class, or I guess any of my classes, the one thing that I want to know is that you read the material. And so if you're citing some areas of the textbook that actually fit the question that has been posed, then I know that you have read that part of it at least. And then the second thing that I think I like to see, though, is that you have an opinion. You can show me that you understand the question, and you also understand the concept that was presented in the textbook. And the third thing that is to personalize it. Normally, I try to have questions that you can have discussions with each other about your own schools. In the old days, pre-online, while we spent a lot of time during breaks talking about what's going on in our school or somebody else's school. And I think this is an approach that hopefully helps to do that. And in most of the discussion board assignments that I have, I'll ask you to respond to two others' postings, and so I'm interested in your opinion about what they had to say, or a concept they may have used, or something was different about their posting than other students, just to get some interaction between and among students. But this last time, several of you didn't do that. I had a few that just posted and then didn't respond to the others. The other thing I look at when I'm grading those is I like to have you post a day or two before the assignment's due, and then the next day come in and post your response to the other students. Sometimes people will get behind and they'll throw up their posting, they'll throw something without much thought um, to respond to another poster, and then they'll do a second one. And it might, I know how much time it takes. It'll show maybe 3 minutes to do those two projects, and that's not really what I'm after. I'm after a good exchange of ideas and a response to what students had to say. I think that a couple other things that I mentioned the citation. I think you need to do, and you need to respond to other students, and sometimes it gets to be challenging for me to keep up on what your discussions are. And so the one thing I'm asking you to do is to, if you're responding to Bill or Mary, put Bill or Mary's name at the start of your response to them. My view is different than yours. In other words, I see your 3 or 4 postings, and so if I know who you're responding to, I kind of have an idea from what you're responding about. Otherwise, it's really kind of difficult. But anyway, I think most, other than forgetting to respond, most people really did a nice job. And these first couple chapters are, you pardon me to say this, they're the most boring of the ones that we'll have, because we'll get into some projects later on that would be used specifically for a principal. The book is written really a lot about a business manager, and I tried to focus on a school principal. Now, a lot of schools are different. Some schools, the principal doesn't hardly do any budgeting, and then schools that really look at site-based management, other than salaries and maybe roof repair, everything else is budgeted by the principal. So I do want you to know how to do that and how to plan for those kinds of things. You may say, well, I'm a small school and my superintendent does it all. So, when I was in a really small school, that's what I did. But later on, I went to letting my principals do their own budget. And I think 4 of my principals became superintendents. I think they would all tell you that it helped them later on in their career. So hope that you enjoy the class, and we'll talk to you a bit later. Thank you.